In March 1944, a top-secret military exercise took place here in southern England using the 101st Airborne, and it was witnessed by some of the most important leaders in the Western world. And today, I'm out here in the fields of West Berkshire trying to find the location of where this exercise took place.
The men pour out of the transports as quickly as possible, and in a matter of seconds, a well-armed, powerful striking force is on the ground, ready for action.
And this is it. In these fields behind me, on the 23rd of March 1944, this was the location for the big drop. It involved the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment and the 377th Parachute Field Artillery Battalion of the 101st Airborne Division. And the drop was witnessed by none other than Sir Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, and General Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander. So from here, I'm going to take the Jeep and we're going to head up to the top of the drop zone and see what the view looks like today in 2025. Right, so we're now on top of the hill where the drop zone is, and this bit of track here is quite significant because after the exercise had finished, after the paratroopers had landed and recovered their equipment, Churchill and Eisenhower got on board a Dodge command car and drove down this track where my Jeep is parked now to inspect the drop zone area. So you can see from the field behind me there just how flat it is, making it an ideal drop zone, especially when you consider the sheer number of troops that were involved with the big drop here in March 1944. The last thing you would want is to put down hundreds of men into smaller enclosed fields and risk them snagging on trees, especially when you consider the audience of Sir Winston Churchill and General Eisenhower. This drop had to be executed perfectly by both the paratroopers and the men of the troop carrier command groups. And we're lucky today in 2025 that the view out here has remained basically unchanged from March 1944. The views that you can see behind me are the same views that Winston Churchill, Ike, and the other men who came here to view the exercise would have seen that day in March 1944. So prior to the jump taking place, when Churchill and Eisenhower arrived by train at Newbury, the nearest town to here, they then were brought up here and inspected the troops, and that took place on the fields over the other side of the small valley here. And we'll go and take a look at that location next. I've now come to the other side of the drop zone. This was the side that the dignitaries viewed the exercise from. Behind me and behind that hedgerow is RAF Welford. Today it's a United States Air Force establishment, but in World War II it was home to the 435th Troop Carrier Group. And it was the station commander there, the base commander, who spoke to the local farmer here, Mr. Bayliss, and got in touch with him and asked for permission to use his land for the exercise. And he also mentioned, he said, make sure your children are out of school that day because it's something they will not want to miss. So the view behind me is to the drop zone, and it was in this field right here that Sir Winston Churchill and General Eisenhower and the other dignitaries for the jump witnessed it from. There was a podium built especially for the occasion, so that they had that raised view across to the drop zone, so that they could see the massed paratroopers of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment and the 377th Parachute Field Artillery Battalion land in the fields just on the other side of the valley there. So from this point here, where that famous photo was taken of the dignitaries on the podium, we're now going to head further down this path to the end of the field and to the other information board that is on the walk on this side of the drop zone. One aspect of the big drop walk that I really like is it's only been open for about a year. It was unveiled in 2024, and it was all through the hard work and dedication by the local people in this area, as well as support from the local councils and the National Lottery Heritage Fund. And Alan Bayliss, the 8-year-old boy whose father owned the land here in 1944 and who witnessed the drop firsthand, has also been involved with it as well, and also believe members of the RAF Welford Historical Society as well. So a real sense of community bonding together here to bring this project to life and to commemorate the incredible events that took place here on that day, on the 23rd of March 1944, as part of the preparations for D-Day. So on this side of the exercise area, this was where the troops formed up for the inspection by Churchill and Eisenhower on the 23rd of March 1944, before the main jump took place. And when you look at the photos and the footage taken of the big drop and the events here, for a top secret exercise, it was rather overt in its nature, given the amount of troops that were here and the fact that it was documented so heavily by the press. So the walk itself is approximately 2.6 miles and it's easily accessible to most. It's not particularly strenuous, and the hills here in West Berkshire are nice and rolling. So it's quite an easy walk. It'll take you a couple of hours and you can really soak up the atmosphere of the events that took place here on the 23rd of March 1944. So I hope you've enjoyed this tour of the area used as part of the big drop exercise on the 23rd of March 1944, involving the men of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment and the 377th Parachute Field Artillery Battalion of the 101st Airborne, and the men of the 9th Troop Carrier Group from the United States Army Air Forces. If you have, please hit that like button, comment, and if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing, as it gives me the opportunity to help grow the channel and bring you more World War II content from around Europe. Okay, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.